It's another edition of Time About the Movies, and today we're taking a look at the films of July 21st, 2000. We've got 4 movies to look at today, so let's go ahead and jump on into it. We'll start off with the biggest new release of the weekend, one of Robert Zemeckis' 2 films in 2000, Harrison Ford and Michelle Pfeiffer in the supernatural thriller, What Lies Beneath.
She's awake.
We'll be quick and quiet.
I don't want to be either.
I'll miss you so much.
I'll come back all the time.
All the time? Did a great job. She's a good kid.
We did. What are they doing next door?
I guess the neighbors are making up.
Leave it open.
Think we can take them?
It's worth a try.
Just us now.
5, 6, 4. I heard noises. I
What kind
didn't
of
want
noises?
to
Where?
disturb you, but at the house, I was scared.
Claire's hearing things. What are you hearing?
Voices, whispering. A picture fell. Missing girl. Do you remember this?
No.
I stopped at this cafe to get a coffee and I see Norman, but he wasn't alone.
Look at this. Doesn't it look exactly like a face? And there's a hand, see it?
Someone who's very close to me who seems to be in contact with some kind of entity or spirit.
There's a ghost in my house.
Any idea what she wants?
She said... Did you know her?
I had an affair with her. She came out here to the house, threatened to kill herself.
Get out!
We can put this behind us. Our life can go on. It's not too late.
You had an affair with a girl who killed herself, and now she's trying to hurt you.
What does she look like?
She looked like me, only she had green eyes.
Stop it!
Hello, Dr. Spencer.
You're not yourself today, are you?
No, I'm not. I think she's starting to suspect something. Your wife.
And that right there is why this movie has any memorability to it whatsoever. I'm not even kidding. Michelle Pfeiffer is legitimately terrifying in this movie. I mean, you can tell she's putting her all into this performance where she has to play not only herself, but this whole other person altogether. And just moments like that, it makes the movie worth it in the end. Not to say the movie is bad per se. There are a lot of things about it that I do think really do work in the end. One is Michelle Pfeiffer. I think her and her chemistry with Harrison Ford works fine enough as it is. Harrison Ford, I think, does a pretty good job in here as well. It's interesting to see Robert Zemeckis take a different turn here. He's not relying heavily on too much CG effects overall here. The mystery aspect overall isn't really that amazing or anything like that, but what it builds up to with that performance that she gives and all the stuff that leads up to this, it does make it worth it in the end. I think the performances overall are well done. I had no idea this was actually written by Colston from the Marvel Cinematic, from the MCU, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Clark Gregg wrote the script for this. I don't think he's ever written anything else after this. I could be wrong on that, but in fact, I'm probably pretty sure that I'm wrong on that, but well, no, he actually wrote and directed one of my favorite underrated films from later in the decade, Choke, which was a really good film based off of the story from the guy that wrote Fight Club, but we'll save that for later on down the road here. Great movie, by the way. But here, this is a film that really is not the greatest overall, except for when it's Michelle Pfeiffer giving this really tense, chilling, terrifying performance. It just really elevates this to a whole nother level, and I think it does it, and I think part of that is why I get so invested into it. The mystery aspect is not that interesting overall, but it is still really tense and exciting to watch. Like, you really have no idea what's going to happen next. Like, you have no idea where this is going to transpire to when it's all said and done. When it does, it kind of falls flat a little bit when it's all said and done, but when it works really well, and I think it is a very strong, well-made film, and it really is benefiting from the fact that Michelle Pfeiffer is putting her all into it. Like I said, Harrison Ford's not bad in here either, but man, she's really good in this movie. She's the reason why you need to check this movie out. It's definitely worth it for her. You'll find a lot of other elements to it that work very well as well. It's a really solid film. It's definitely not the better of the two Robert Zemeckis films that came out in 2000. We'll get to that when we get to the end of the year with Castaway. But, well, Lies Beneath works well for what it is. So, let's move on to the next movie, and that is Pokemon, the movie 2000.
They're back to save the world by popular demand. An ancient legend is coming true. A force with the power that could threaten the entire balance of the world. This summer, prepare for an all-new challenge and see how one person will make all the difference. July 21st, get ready for the greatest adventure they've ever had to face with Pokemon you've never seen before. Kids WB presents Pokemon, the movie 2000.
Pikachu!
Only in theaters, July 21st. Find out about the all-new Pokemon trading card game card giveaway and other Pokemon 2000 events at theater lobby displays and on the new Pokemon website.
Kind of interesting how the Pokemon series, the more movies they made, the less popular they became. Despite the fact that the more movies they made, the more better they got. I mean, this is actually a far superior film than the first Pokemon movie, but I'll delve into that in just a little bit here. But Pokemon the movie 2000 comes less than 6 months after the surprising success of Pokemon the first movie, and because they already knew that there was going to be tons of these movies coming, no wonder they called the first one the first movie. But the story here is that you basically have two parts here. Just like in the last film, you have Pikachu's, just like it has Pikachu's Vacation as the short film that comes before it. You have Pikachu's Rescue Adventure that has a story that takes place after the events of the second season, when Tracy joins the crew and Brock leaves, and in the movie they enter Shimoni Island. The movie itself, they enter the island of Shimoni Island, while they're to discover the three legendary Pokemon, bird Pokemon, Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres. Meanwhile, there's a collector named Lawrence III who attempts to steal the three Pokemon to awaken Lugia, which proves dangerous for the legendary Pokemon, Lugia, and Ash himself, who is being described as the Chosen One, hence why the film has the subtitle The Power of One. Like I said, it's an improvement over the previous film. Like I think the short is much better than the previous film. The film itself is really well done. I think it has a really fun concept overall. Like this idea that Ash is the chosen one, and he has to basically. I mean, they don't really give a good idea of what he has to do. He just basically has to stop the bad guy from collecting all these birds to awaken this creature overall. And I do like the fact that they actually have Team Rocket actually teaming up with Ash and the gang this time around. I think it's fun when they kind of break the rules like that and have them work together to stop the big baddie in this movie. And I think they did a pretty good job with that. Plus, the animation I think works a lot better in this one than the first movie did. There aren't as many WTF plot elements that are thrown in here, stories or subplots that don't make a whole lot of sense. I think this one does a much better job of handling that. But like I said, it does get better as the series goes on with these first couple of movies. Because I think the next film, the one that was the least successful out of the three by Warner Brothers, probably is the overall best one. But we'll eventually get to that when we get to Pokemon 3. But it's an entertaining movie. I think it's a well-made film for the most part. But really, I think the one element that I really take away from this isn't the movie itself, but the soundtrack. The soundtrack for this movie is surprisingly really damn good, and it has a really great song by Donna Summer, The Power of One. Then you got all these different songs from the artists at the time. You got like Dream Street, Westlife, Youngstown, featuring Nobody's Angel, O-Town, the B-52s, Weird Al Yankovic has a song in here. Like, I know most of these people because I grew up around this time when they were very popular. I mean, I was like 11 years old when this came out, so. And I watched Kids WB a lot too. I was a fan of Pokemon when this came out, and fittingly, once I joined the Pokemon phenomenon, that's when it started to take the nosedive. I mean, I don't know, but the soundtrack is really good. Like the Power of One song is one you can still listen to this very day. It's really it's a really damn good song that still holds up after all these years. It's really one of the best Donna Summer songs overall. The movie is just a ton of fun. It's a really good, well-made film. It's definitely cleaning up a lot of the problems from the first movie. Granted, there are still some flaws here and there, but the music overall is really good. The animation overall is really good. It's much more fun than the previous movie, and I think that really shows the elevation of these films going forward, which is interesting because around this time, the Pokemon zeitgeist was kind of lowering and lowering as the seasons went on, mostly because they were kind of like, it felt like they were kind of changing the rules around as the show was continuing on. Plus, you had some competition coming in the way, not only from Kids WB, but also Fox Kids, because Digimon was coming up and was turning out to be just as successful as Pokemon, which we'll eventually get to them as we have a Digimon movie coming up later in the year, but yeah, Pokemon the Movie 2000, I think, is definitely a much more successful movie in terms of what they were trying to accomplish compared to the first film. But like I said, it does get better as we get to the third film and the last film released by Warner Brothers. But we'll eventually get to that one in 2001. But I like Pokemon the Movie 2000. I think it's a ton of fun. So, with that said, let's go ahead and move on to our next movie, and that is Loser.
Good afternoon. Hey, what's up, man? How are you?
Paul is out of touch.
Yeah.
So let me try that one again.
No, man, that's cool. Don't worry.
Dora is out of luck.
I'm calling for the Gal Friday job.
Are you saying it?
He's trying to fit in.
That is a great hat. Did the producers of Fargo have a garage sale?
Wait! No!
She's trying to get a break.
Hi, I'm calling about the ad for healthy girls with good SAT scores.
You take your clothes off in there.
I don't know if that's even legal.
And the semester's just begun.
Try not to be so much like, you.
Jerry Lewis, ladies and gentlemen. Come on, how about that?
Looks like you banged me pretty bad.
No, I'm fine.
Let's put some ice on it.
And all the girlies say I'm pretty fly for a white guy.
You gotta help me. Lisa is all primed. Her helpful friend, Fat Rita, will take her home unless she gets some action, too. Take one for the team.
You guys are amazing.
Thank you.
Think you could turn it down a scotch? Scotch? The hell is that?
He may not get it. She may not know it.
What happens to the nasty girl who hates everyone, huh?
I don't know. I have fun with you. It's pretty dorky, huh?
Look who you're asking.
But they just might be perfect for each other.
Oh, hey.
Sorry,
This summer, take your best shot.
You have a girlfriend?
Ex-girlfriend. She lost some weight, so she's dating a lot more now.
But remember, winning isn't everything.
Al, how you doing?
Loser.
If you could only kill one of the Backstreet Boys, which would you pick?
The one with the really creepy facial hair.
I think for alleged heterosexuals, you both know far too much about the Backstreet Boys.
I mean, I don't know too much about the Backstreet Boys, but I do like their songs. But that's another thing altogether. But Loser, this is actually Amy Heckerling's first film after the success of Clueless, and it's actually a remake of Woody Allen's The Apartment, where you have a story where you have a fish-out-of-water college student played by Jason Biggs who falls for a classmate played by Mina Suvari. Both, of course, were in American Pie, unaware that she's in a relationship with the English teacher played by Greg Kinnear. Which kind of begs the question, what Oz thinks about Jim basically in a relationship with his girlfriend from American Pie. I think that's kind of amusing overall, and this is one of those movies where I think the trailer definitely shows a lot of the more sillier, funnier moments to it. Like I like the scene where he's falling down the steps. I like the thing with the guy slapping. Is Jason Biggs just like, hey, can you turn it down a scotch? And the guy's like, scotch? What the hell is that? Like, sadly, I think a lot of the best moments are in that trailer. And this movie, I think, perfectly fits what Jason Biggs' characters were, what you expect from a Jason Biggs character, and it's something like Boys and Girls that we talked about earlier in the year, which felt like he was miscast in here. I thought the chemistry overall between Biggs and Savari worked pretty well, but then again, these are the two people that worked on American Pie. Even though they didn't share a ton of scenes together, if any, you could still buy into their chemistry overall here. Plus, Greg Kinnear, I think, is very good. But as far as the movie itself goes, it's pretty lackluster. It doesn't really do anything that unique or that different overall to make it really stand out as something really good. And for Amy Heckerling, who's coming off of Clueless after this one, you really think you would expect a little bit more from that. But she made the point that this was originally supposed to be intended more to be an R-rated comedy, which I think probably would have benefited this movie better. But the Sony wanted PG-13 rating on it because apparently they think that R-rated comedies don't do well in the summer. I mean, it's not like American Pie was one of the biggest hits from last year, even though that was exactly rated R too. But I digress. But other than that, though, it really wasn't as good as I think many people wanted it to be. I think there were elements where you could definitely see it working. You could definitely see where they were almost getting close to making it work. You know, like I said, the chemistry between the two leads is really good. Greg Kinnear is very funny in here. But other than that, though, everything else about it has kind of been there, done that. And you kind of expect a little bit more from that, especially with the talents they have on board here. But like I said, a lot of the really good moments in the film are in that trailer I just showed you. But other than that, though, it's pretty forgettable. It's just not worth it in the end, really. I can't really say avoid it like the plague, because there are little moments there where it almost works, but I can't really say it's anything great either. If you really don't have anything else to watch, I'd say watch it once, and then you'll probably forget about it almost immediately after you watch it. I know I did, but I digress. Let's move on to our last movie we have here. Easily the worst movie of the week, and that is The In Crowd.
Did you just see the new girl?
Yeah.
The In Crowd.
We can go in here and get as crazy as we want.
They bring new meaning to rich,
You would kill in that dress.
sexy,
I don't know her. She's not your friend.
and drop dead gorgeous.
I brought you in, I can easily throw you out. If only she would go away.
The In Crowd. Look for it on video cassette and DVD.
Just when you thought Gossip was one of the worst WB pilot to be made into a movie around this time period, here's this one that gets that kind of has the same problems with Loser. Like, it's trying to aim for a PG-13 rating, and this is something that clearly should have been R, and even when it tries to be R, it doesn't work out in the end. I'll talk about that in just a second here, but you have this woman, Adrienne Williams, played by Lori Hearing. She enters the In Crowd when she is hired by a posh East Coast country club and befriended by Brittany Foster, played by Susan Ward, the charismatic leader of a clique of wealthy college students who are home for the summer. Brittany takes Adrienne under her wing, attempts to show her the benefits of the good life, and introduces her to one of the members of the inner circle, including the object of Brittany's affection, tennis pro Matt Curtis, played by Matthew Steele. Probably don't even know who he is, but when Matt shows an interest in Adrienne, Brittany begins to reveal her dark side, and Adrienne slowly starts to learn that Brittany and her pack of friends will do anything to protect their circle and the dark secrets they harbor. Did I mention that this woman, that Adrienne is actually a mentally disturbed young woman who was just coming out of a psyche ward? Yeah, this is one of the stupidest things ever. This is one of the stupidest movies you will ever see. It's not funny, it's not thrilling, it's not engaging. It tries to be this guilty pleasure type of a film, and it can't even work that way because it just fails on so many levels. Like, this is a film that I have no idea what the hell they were trying to accomplish with this. Like I said, it feels like a bad WB pilot mixed in with somebody that said, hey, this movie Wild Things was a success because we had a lesbian scene with Neve Campbell and Denise Richards. We need to have this in that movie, and yeah. They took that out. No joke. The film was originally supposed to be rated R because of a scene where you have the two people in here, Brittany and Henry. Was trimmed down for a PG-13 release, but in the original R-rated version, Brittany removes her dress while the breasts are revealed. Then her dress was taken down to as low as her thighs. In the PG-13 version, it's not extended beyond the exposure of Brittany's breast, but a kiss between the two girls in here, like I said, because, you know, Wild Things just came out, and that's what we have to do here, was also trimmed for the film to receive a PG-13 rating. But why? Why did they need to sell this as a PG-13 movie? What about this concept is worthy of a PG-13? It fails on so many levels. It's trying to be a guilty pleasure campy movie, and it can't even do that correctly. It's a mess, and it really hurts when you consider that this is the same director that gave us Pet Sematary. Is almost over 10 years ago. It's just like, what a fall from grace this woman has. I mean, this woman made Pet Sematary and Pet Sematary 2, which are way better films compared to this. But, like, the first Pet Sematary is a fun, guilty pleasure movie. And the second one is also kind of fun, too. But this, no, this is just crap. Plain and simple. This is one I will tell you, avoid it like the plague. The In Crowd. Just stay out of it, man. Just stay out of it. And so with that said, we wrap up another edition of Time About the Movies. We'll wrap July up on the next episode with 2 movies, including the sequel to The Nutty Professor, Eddie Murphy returning in Nutty Professor 2 The Clumps. And we also have Thomas and the Magic Railroad with Alec Baldwin, Peter Fonda, and Mara Wilson, and of course, Thomas the Tank Engine. So we'll take a look at those 2 movies next time. But until then, thank you so much for watching, and if you want to see more videos like this, please hit the place on the next page, check out the previous episode, and also don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this on this channel. So with that said, I am off. I will see you guys next time, and until then, as always, take care.